this, the final day of the Scorpio season, I thought we'd take one last trip into the underworld. Oh, I know, I'm sorry, Scorps. You know I hate the stereotypes as well, but I just couldn't resist getting back into costume one last time as the Dark Lord or Lady of Hades before we are obliged to bounce, supposedly, into the manic depressive, overrated Saggy season. So, for the record, here is my top 12 ultimate Scorpio celebrity list. It was a difficult choice, so many diamonds and devils to choose from. And yes, I know, the backstories in Hollywood are usually embellished, and the birth details are curiously elastic. But with my super sleuth Scorpio rising powers, I can read between the lines and get to the bottom of it. So, now, these particular Scorpios and Plutonians are not necessarily my favorite, but they do embrace, epitomize, or embody the core of the Scorpio Prime Directive and the Plutonian themes. So, shall we dive into the pit? Okay, we're settled. Lots of rocks and scary pyramids. It's not that kind of pyramid, okay? Right, well, this is hardly Hades, but I think you set the scene for our top 12 ultimate Scorpio celebrities. Now, as you know, I'm in my 50s, so glasses on and notes. I simply can't remember it all, so you're going to have to bear with me. Are you ready? Yes, number 12, Ryan Reynolds. Born in Vancouver, Canada on the 23rd of October 1976. Now I'm not sure if Tasty Ryan should be in my Devil Scorpio category or Diamond. He's a dark horse, very mysterious. But whatever the case is, he transformed himself several times, very successfully with a lot of stealth. He began as the tasty, eye-candy comedian, and he starred in National Lampoon's Van Wilder. Then he morphed into the badass, kick-ass Hannibal King in the Blade trilogy. Somehow he ended up as a romantic lead in movies like The Proposal. And he has the distinction of being the only actor who has been in both DC Comics and Marvel's superheroes costumes, and actually having the most reviled, unsuccessful superhero movie of all time, The Green Lantern, in 2011, and then rising like a phoenix from the ashes to bring us Deadpool, the most critically acclaimed and probably one of the most successful superhero movies and characters of all time. I think the opening weekend was something like 264 million. Very interesting. He also married a few top totties like Scarlett Johansson, a fellow Scorpio, and Blake Lively, and done a tango or two with Alanis Morissette back in the day, all while escaping fairly unscathed from the worst of tabloid flagellation. So yes, Mr. Reynolds, what's your secret? Number 11, Jocelyn Hernandez, the Puerto Rican princess. One of my personal favorites. Jocelyn was born on the 3rd of November 1986 in Puerto Rico, and she shares her birthday with my best friend. And she also shares her fortitude, sincerity, and straight up charisma. I'm going to need my notes for this and a stiff drink. There is no sangria in the underworld, just vodka on the rocks. Okay, let me take a look. It's all a bit too hot to handle. The self-styled baddest bitch in reality TV. Although many vilify her for her sexually charged, aggressive ghetto style, personally, I admire her immensely. Yes, I seriously admire her. Jocelyn fought her way out of the projects of both Miami and Puerto Rico, past a childhood of neglect and exploitation, was self-sufficient practically by 13 and stripping by 16. Wielding the pussy power with ever-increasing skill, Jocelyn then pursued her dream of a career in music. Somehow she encountered Stevie J, a fellow Scorpio, but she used it to her advantage. In fact, like her or loathe her, her star power, razor wit, and pure charisma practically single-handedly catapulted Love Hip Hop Atlanta to the #1 version of the franchise. And despite being betrayed and manipulated by both Stevie J and the producers, Jocelyn managed to parlay a bit part on a ratchet reality show into lucrative infamy. And despite her penchant for, some self-sabotaging, prideful moves at times, this yummy mummy, with her charisma and sheer force of will, is definitely never going to be brave little Shanenica back at the strip club.
Some super star like she Beyonce.
You're right, I'm not Beyonce, neither Rihanna. I'm Jocelyn Hernandez.
But you know what, baby? Dream on, because Jocelyn Hernandez is a real superstar. Unlike you, baby girl, because the only thing and the only place where you can perform at is at your uncle's barbecue, bitch.
Number 10, lovely Leo. Again, I couldn't quite decide if Leo was a devil Scorpio on the dark side or a diamond of resilience and courage. He's a very mysterious, not so young man anymore. I mean, he's 42 even though he looks 12. Leo's very, very, very enigmatic and interesting. He's transformed himself from a child star, probably the most beloved teen dream heartthrob of all time, or at least the 20th century, into an actor that can, with the most extraordinary chameleon-like qualities and intensity, who, is Mr. Biopic, playing J. Edgar Hoover, Howard Hughes in The Aviator, and it just goes on. But something's obviously eating Gilbert Grape. He had the obligatory Scorpio childhood that was challenging. His parents separated when he was 1. And he lived part of his childhood in Germany with his grandparents, and it was all a little bit up and down. And we know he was traumatized by Madonna and her crotch in that video at just 13. But yeah, Leo has a quiet, seething kind of angst underneath it, that baby face that we can't quite get to the bottom of. He is now a part of a power couple with Martin Scorsese, and he dates a string of models with a curious air of disinterest from what I observe. He's a very remarkable young man, and like I said, very inscrutable. but he certainly earned his place on my ultimate Scorpio list. So, King of the World, the highest grossing movie of all time. What's your secret? Number 9, Margaret Atwood. Born on November the 18th in Canada in 1939. Yeah, the year war broke out. Yes, I'm showing my literary and academic side here. Margaret Atwood, writer and inventor of the long pen, robotic handwriting, is an enigma. But she's also a fire starter. I don't know very much about Margaret Atwood, and I think that's exactly the way she wants it. Yes, she's a Harvard graduate and has won many literary prizes, including the Booker Prize. But she has earned her spot on my ultimate list primarily for giving us the jaw-dropping Plutonian tale of horror. That is The Handmaid's Tale. The book, the series, the movie, all explored those dark, dark themes about the shadow side of humanity. Power, reproduction, ruthless oppression, obsession. It had it all. I can't think of a single novel that better epitomized, embraced, revealed the shadow side. So, Margaret Atwood, I don't know who you are, but thank you. Yes, at number 8, Nelly, who is such a Scorpio devil that it's getting hot in here. Yes, Cornell, the Midwest midget and magician, born on the 2nd of November 1974 in Austin, Texas. Where do I begin? He's a devil because he has given us some of the most appalling misogynistic music. He's a magician because somehow, despite all his naughtiness, he has become mainstream. Everyone's favorite collaborator. It's quite an amazing feat to behold. Pure Plutonian transformation. Well, he went from dilemma and taboo to the excesses of tip drill. We won't speak about that. We won't even do a clip of that. To being featured in serial adverts. He's had his own TV show, Nellyville. And he's so very proud of being a Scorpio. I think you Scorpios should kick him out of the Scorpio club. Tell him to bugger off and be a Sag or something. He's also the 4th highest selling rap artist in the American music business. What can I say? He's very, very proud. So proud of being a Scorpio. And his album Scorpio Season had all the obligatory themes. And I just think, Number 7, the notorious and mesmerizing Vivien Leigh. Scarlett O'Hara herself, born on November 5th, 1913, in what was then British India. Vivien Leigh would have had a whole list to herself, such was her scorpionic essence. But she only reached number 7 on my list because unlike most Plutonians, although she was to a degree self-sabotaging at times, somehow she managed to not only attract with that magnetism, but actually keep hold of her heroes. Laurence Olivier did 20 years. Yes, just like Scarlett O'Hara, Vivian inspired devotion and obsession in men. But unlike Scarlett, Vivian kept hold of it. Yeah, and frankly, Olivier and everybody else did give a damn, my dear. Vivian not only gave us the ultimate femme fatale vamp in Scarlett, she also gave us a second one, Blanche Dubois, in Streetcar Named Desire. And she'll probably be best remembered for playing those kind of roles, even though she was an accomplished Shakespearean actress of quite amazing talent. But it was marred by mental illness. She was bipolar, and physical illness. She suffered from tuberculosis and other ailments all her life. She was deeply admired and greatly respected as an actress, but as David Niven said, she was quite mad. You have to admire her courage and her fortitude, battling against such devouring personal demons while being dedicated to her craft. So, Vivian? Okay, number 6, Sean Coombs. First, let me offer my condolences to the children and family of Kim Porter. As an astrologer, I'm very familiar with and a firm believer in Jung's concept of synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences. But even I was shocked that literally hours before I pre-recorded this section, Kim Porter was reported as having passed away. I'm not a fan of Sean Coombs by any means, but I'm convinced that in true Scorpio style, he will most definitely be there for their children and his adopted child with Kim. Okay. To me, Sean P. Puffy Diddy Daddy is the living embodiment of the shadow side of Scorpio, like the dark side of Pluto, ruthless, relentless, and resourceful. I was going to note that P. Diddy, Sean, is still standing and flourishing, at least financially, when all around him drop like flies. But perhaps we won't explore that at this moment. It's very interesting that his long-term ex-partner passed away just a few weeks after it was announced that he and what was his present partner, long-term again, Cassie, had called it quits. There's a lot of very interesting Scorpionic themes around Sean Coombs. Every Scorpio has the themes of obsession and devotion swirling around their lives in one form or another. It's my hypothesis that Puff Daddy is obsessed and devoted to personal power. That's why he made this list. I don't need to recount his illustrious career from Harvard Business School through Bad Boy Records and on to the mogul of an empire. It's also interesting to note that with a thimble full of creative talent of his own, he also managed to have a very successful career as a rapper in his own right, and seconding all the talent to collaborate with him, and even has enjoyed acting success. So I think we'll leave number 6 at the ultimate devil, Scorpio. Ooh la la, number 5, Demi, gimme more. What can I say about Demi? I done a whole case study on her birthday, which is of course November the 11th, 1962 in Roswell, New Mexico. Demi would have had the number 1 slot as the ultimate Scorpio, but she's almost pure eagle. And I thought I would give it to somebody who, gave us a full spectrum 3D look at the Scorpio condition. Well, I'll just recap. Demi's life and professional career reads like a Scorpio wish list. Okay, she surmounted a traumatic childhood, left home at 16 and, got her a stigma, her cross-eyes fixed, and her trajectory was wow. She became the highest paid actress of all time for striptease. She gave us inaugurated the celebrity belly shot with that amazing Vanity Fair pregnant cover. She made being a cougar very, very cool by marrying heartthrob Ashton. Excuse me. She inaugurated the original power couple with Bruce Willis, and then went on to show us how to do successful co-parenting. She's just had it all. Her movies, again, read like a catalogue from Pluto's basement. Disclosure. Ghost, love defies death. A few good men, we will have justice and will reveal the truth. And it goes on and on, G.I. Jane, on and on. Demi, wow. Number 4, sweet little Aubrey, otherwise known as Drake. Drake is very polarizing and on the surface doesn't seem to be a stereotypical Scorpio or Plutonian type. Well, that would be the cloak of invisibility, wouldn't it? Underestimated, underrated Drake. Still risen to one of the most successful recording artists of all time. Take that. From Degrassi to 95 million records sold. Born on October 24th, some would say barely made it into Scorpio, but I know better. In 1986, Toronto, Canada. Drake's childhood reads like an atypical tale of Scorpio. He was separated from his father, who was incarcerated, and all the other usual things on the Scorpio daddy issue list. And Drake was literally providing for the family, him and his mother, from a very early age when he starred in Degrassi. But our Drake has just released his latest album called Scorpion. Yes, Scorpion. He's very proud to be a Plutonian, and I suggest that you take a second look at this resourceful, focused, powerful young man. Drake, I'm going to make you one of my diamond Scorpios. Although some might argue that you're a devil. Not in my book. I deeply admire all of your fortitude, your resilience, your determination, and your raw talent. Okay, the last stretch. It's our top 3, starting with Eve. I bet you didn't see that one coming. Oh no. Now, because we are on the final stretch, and I'm obliged to give you a little bit more detail, because I'm sure the top 3 are going to be somewhat of a surprise, I'm going to shamelessly go to my notes. I'm in my 50s. Right. Eve, born on November 10th, 1978 in Philadelphia, named after the original butt-naked sinner herself. And the inaugural winner of the Best Rap Song Collaboration in 2002 with Gwen Stefani. Our Eve is a triple threat. Rapper, singer-songwriter and actress. And by heck is she a dark horse, especially by hip-hop standards. Eve's successful trajectory is a masterpiece of Plutonian stealth, strategy and stoic determination. Everything about her is mysterious, including her early life, which just seems to jump straight to her time as the laziest stripper ever, rescued from the pole by rapper Maze. Never heard of him. Anyway, by whatever means, Eve has renamed and reinvented herself on multiple occasions, beginning as an accomplished singer. Yep, a singer first, with the Dope Girl Posse, to a rapper named Gangsta, signed by Dr. Dre, onto Eve, originally Eve of Destruction, and back to plain Eve. Regardless, somehow, by the end of the 90s, she became the queen of collaboration and has hooked up with a stellar and diverse cast of artists, including, back to the notes, Prince, DMX, Alicia Keys, and of course Gwen Stefani. Her best-selling albums have distinctly Scorpionic themes and names, including the Grammy Award-winning album Scorpion, Evolution, and guess what? Her clothing line is called Fetish. What I find most remarkable about Eve, the enigma, is how she managed to survive the worst perils and excesses of the exploitative and misogynistic world of hip-hop, including Dr. Dre Woman Beater and oh, that charmer Stevie J. What's with it with him and strippers? Anyway. And with the exception of, the odd beef or two, the likes of Foxy Brown and the obligatory skirmishes with, industry honchos, etc., she's managed to enjoy a successful career as an actress, even starring in her own sitcom, Eve. And then re-emerged relatively unscathed to co-host The Talk, and even had a British hubby, the antithesis of the toxic bad boys of her past, in tow. Well, what can I say? Now that is leveling up. Respect to this eagle. Respect! Yes! At number 2, the ultimate Scorpion male celebrity, and I'm not giving up my notes, is the chef from hell with the heart of gold, Gordon Ramsay, OBE, born on November the 8th, 1966 in Scotland. Gordon's story is the epitome of the Scorpionic evolution. Through the arduous growth cycle of survival, strategy and tenacity, on to soaring success. Wow. Typically, his underworld tale begins with the struggle to survive, an appalling childhood, which he described in his autobiography, Humble Pie, as abuse and neglect from a hard-drinking womanizer. This seems to be a real recurring theme with our Scorpions, this tales from Daddy Hell, but yeah. Gordon, like so many others on our list, left home at 16 and was obliged to reinvent himself when bodily injury, another recurring theme, devastated his promising professional football career. And at just 19, he proved himself already a master of transformation and began a meteoric rise as a chef. But this wouldn't be a Scorpio tale if it wasn't without a fight and a lot of struggle. Gordon eventually reclaimed his power from a series of abusive and manipulative father figures, including Marco Pierre White, whom he credits with both much of his culinary skill and his explosive style. Needless to say, Gordon's willpower, dedication, ambition, and sheer talent have led him to become arguably one of the most famous, and if not the most famous, and financially successful chefs in the world, with a string of international Michelin-starred restaurants and his own production company. He has many, many TV successes under his belt, including MasterChef, Kitchen Nightmares, Hotel Hell, and it just goes on. But I suspect that Gordon's bite is far worse than his theatrical, I've got that the wrong way around. I suspect that bark, that's right, his bite is worse than his bark. In fact, Gordon's actually been outed by several participants in Kitchen Nightmares as being an absolute sweetheart when the camera stopped rolling. Would you ever? He's also, like Hades himself, a devoted husband and father, at least on the surface, and is known for his dedication to his tireless charity work. Well, what can I say? What a diamond. Are you ready for the number one ultimate Scorpio celebrity? And you know she had to be a sister. Call me biased. Yes, it is Dorothy Dandridge, born on November 9th, 1922 in Cleveland, Ohio. She was Marilyn Monroe's role model and the first black woman to be nominated for the Best Actress Academy Award. Wow. She declared, "There is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise." Girl, wow. Her life, from the horrendous childhood to her death in Hollywood under suspicious circumstances, is pure Pluto. Oh, I've got to stick to my notes. This is so juicy. Her journey was punctuated by every conceivable scorpionic theme, both on celluloid and in real time. There were power struggles, lost and won, with Maris Bengalis, abusive husbands, head honchos, institutionalized racism, you name it, scandal, driving determination and ambition, triumphs, tragedy, including her disabled daughter, sacrifice, self-sabotage, and taboo. And of course, a searing sexual magnetism that hypnotized the world. What a Scorpio. A fiercely talented triple threat, she was a singer, actress, and dancer. It's impossible to do justice to her remarkable story of resourcefulness, resilience, and enormous pride and courage. in just this one video. So needless to say, I'll be dedicating a whole case study to Carmen Jones herself. But of course, for now, Dorothy Dandridge will be best remembered for her iconic portrayal of the ultimate femme fatale, Carmen Jones, in the 1954 production. That Scorpionic siren's tale uncannily mirrors her own, right down to her tragic and mysterious death in Hollywood at the age of 42 in 1965. What can I say? Wow. I hope you enjoyed this torturous journey into the 8th house. Please let me know below which one of our top 12 celebrity Scorpions was your favourite. You're allowed to have more than one. And before I go and rise up and hop into the 9th house of Sagittarius tomorrow, I'm going to give an honourable and a dishonourable mention to a few of those Scorps. One last time, here we go. Okay, Destra Garcia, the Queen of Soca from Trinidad and Tobago. Jodie Foster, needs no introduction. Julia Roberts, Lisa Bonet, oh, she leveled up, didn't she? Ciara, Stevie J, Whoopi Goldberg, Ryan Gosling, Bram Stoker and his character Dracula, both Plutonians, Heathcliff, Henry Winkler, the Fonz, Martin Scorsese, yep, Richard Intense Burton, and Danny DeVito, that little pint-sized powerhouse. And on a personal note, I will give a shout out to, and you know I'm going to be giving their full name, hell knows more than my life's worth, Yvonne, aka Marge, Paula B, the Right Honourable Paul Pearson, I'm allowed to say his, Lydia D, and my godson Aaron. Okay, enough of the underworld already. Oh my God, let me just take my vodka and go. Bye.